Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me on this second part of my interview with Nick Townsend from WEAK13. Just a quick message, please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow this channel, share it, put some comments in the comments section. That really helps the channel. So without further ado, here is part 2 of the interview with Nick Townsend from WEAK13. Enjoy. All right. Welcome back to the Livewire Music Podcast, the show that's shining a spotlight on fresh talent, creative minds, and unsung heroes who make the music world move. I'm here with Nick from WEAK13. You okay, Nick?
Yeah, we had a little brief toilets break, so we're okay though.
7-hour toilet break. I think if there was a 7-hour toilet break, we should probably go to see a doctor, would be that.
I think we definitely need medical attention.
But hey, listen, we had a really good chat earlier about your award-winning videos, and we talked about our friends Simon Cowell and the talent show.
The Saturday night karaoke house.
Yeah, how could you call it? The talent show virus that the music industry endured for a few years. But I wanted to bring this second part back in and go a little bit back in time, so to speak, and just sort of like find out a little bit about Nick the artist and about how you decided to play music and get into music. And for people who are following the show, before anyone comes on, they all complete a big questionnaire with lots of questions, and
There's only
as you can imagine, Nick,
40 questions on there.
I know. Well, listen, the thing,
this thing never stops.
it asked. I think the only question it didn't ask was what was your blood type and what's your shoe size. But yeah, I want to go back to when Rick first fell in love with music. So like, when did like music kind of hit you? When did you get that buzz? How did that happen?
I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone because I've just remembered it.
Okay.
It's my earliest memory, and it's one that I actually blocked out because I was only told it by my mother. And apparently is my father had a vinyl player, and he was very annoyed to wake up one morning to find out that his son had put like about 20 of these vinyls and stacked them like Lego bricks on the vinyl player, and I was spinning them. To me, it was like a toy, and he was absolutely furious. And I have no memory of this, so I was even
right. So how old would you have been?
I'd imagine about 4, maybe 3. Possibly, I think it must be 3 because I really have no memory. I probably got this joint.
Yeah.
Slap. Be like, you bloody idiot.
I mean, messing with your man's vinyl, that's.
I mean, he was
You're going to get in trouble for that.
Huge vinyl fan as well, so I've no idea what I'd stacked up, but I'd obviously thought it was some kind of spinny toy. So that's the earliest memory, but I don't remember because the only way I can remember is my mother telling me how furious my father was. And then the second one is I saw an advert for Adam and the Ants on television, and it was the Prince.
Okay.
And I said, Daddy, I would like that, which I'll buy you that, which is amazing after hearing the first story about the vinyl player. But he actually bought.
He got over it then. He forgave you. So Adam and the Ants must have been like 83, 82, 83?
I think it was 80 actually. Or 80.
Oh, was it really? Wow.
I'm not sure actually. I should know this, but I think it was 81. I think.
Wow.
I think I was about 6 years old. So
Yeah.
what about you?
So obviously, like, so you kind of got into music quite young. With so by the sounds of it, your dad was playing lots of music, and so when did you kind of like get the buzz, so to speak? When did you suddenly, you know, realize that, right, this is what I want to do. This is me.
Well, I didn't actually, because I was thrown into it. I You may remember me from school being into art a bit. I used to just draw all the time, and I was just I wasn't very actually good at planning my future, because although I was, like, always drawing an artist, I had this kind of thing that, like, I know what will happen is I'll be drawing and drawing and drawing, and then I'll leave school, and, there was work experience coming. I'll know what I'll do, though. I'll speak to the, work experience person. I go, "Oh, we'll take you to I don't know, the art company where all the artists go to." So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like, "Ooh." That must be how it works. I mean,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, a little bit here, but basically, when I did, have work experience, I was known for art, so I ended up working in um, a I ended up working for Sevenside Day Centre for 2 weeks, which was, basically to design there is a reason why I'm mentioning this, uh,
Okay.
design a playground for children, and,
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you one thing, I spent loads of time making I was very good at designing, got everything right, I made sure I asked all the kids what they wanted and blah, 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 and all the teachers were like, "Oh, I'm very excited." And you felt really proud that I'd done something for the community, and, about 6 months later, I remember I'm getting to the music part. But 6 months later, I went past the, Severside Day Centre. I thought, oh, actually, it might be about a year. I thought, "Oh, I wonder if plans have started." I was such a, like, a naive person back then. I wonder if I've started plans on the playground I've designed. And I went past, and what happened is they probably went on Argos and just ordered, but my designs, I spent 2 weeks there, and that I didn't draw that, and that's enough, and they literally must have ordered something from Argos, and, yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah, it's much easier.
Well, look, by the sounds of it, you did have some sort of contribution to that, though. So,
But, yeah, I mean, they probably thought, "You know what? We've had this kid here for 2 weeks designing this thing. These kids don't deserve it." You know, like, we could just we could get to do it really. They were probably, from, like, very disruptive homes, probably. They probably thought, "It'll be a
yes,
lot
yeah, yeah.
cheaper if we just went to, the Argos catalogue and just ordered the very cheap one." So, I was into art, and the thing is, that was my art experience of work, and I was still drawing, and, I I didn't actually plan what I was gonna do with my talents of art. I had no idea. You'd think somebody that spent so much of their life drawing would have worked out where they were gonna work. So I didn't have any of that. I went to art college, and, I'm coming to it. Basically, a week at art college, at Kidderminster College, and there was the teacher said to me, "Nick, we're going to, do a thing, which I don't normally tell students, but you're very into your dark drawing, your macabre, and illustrations. What we're gonna do, we're gonna chuck those pens away. You're never gonna be allowed to use them again, and you're gonna have to paint." I can't paint. And I was like, well, 99% of the course is gonna be painting, so you can throw those drawing pens away and no pencils." And I suppose they were trying to develop my mind and
Yes,
develop me,
yeah, yeah.
but I was like, "Can't do this." And I remember we went to this art lesson where there was a life drawing class, and there's a kid next to me. I can't remember his name. He was like Picasso. Well, actually, like a really incredible artist.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
really good at painting, and, there was, like, a vase and a model and something like that, and we had to draw them, and I was, like, painting like a 4-year-old. I was like, "Oh god." And I did my painting, and then, sat next to this incredible painter, and it was like, oh my god, it's like a photograph what he's done. That's amazing. I wasn't jealous. I was like, wow, yeah. And then the teacher went past, and it was just like we each had 30 minutes, and she went to mine. And goes, "Oh, Nick, that's really good. I love what you've done there. That's definitely. I'm going to give you an A minus for that. It's so
That's
cool."
not bad.
Yeah. And then she went to the person next to me and said, "Oh, absolutely terrible. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a D, a D plus." And I stood up. I still to this day don't know who that artist was, but I reckon they must have thought, "Oh, well, thank God it's someone on my side." And I stood up. I said, "You know what, teacher? This art class is a load of bull, and that's ridiculous. You're an idiot. If you think, well, that's a D, right? You're not a real teacher. I'm an artist. I know what I'm talking about. That is someone that can really do incredible art. Screw you. Screw this course. I'm going." I just like left the art.
And that was it.
I went to the reception. And I said, "Are there any other courses I can join?" And there's a performing arts course. I did
Right.
college performing arts, and if I hadn't have done that, I don't think I'd be doing music today, because it was like
Wow.
there was no music job. You know what I mean? So I thought, right,
No, 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 no.
I left my art. I left my art career because I was disgusted at the education side of it. After and this poor lad that was next to me, he must have gone, Don't make a fuss. I'll accept the D. It's all." And I was like, "No, no,
I
no."
wonder what he's doing now.
But yeah, that's how I got into the music, because I got into the a performing arts course at Kidderminster College, and I took my music more seriously. I thought, I kind of realised, right, if that's, I don't want to get a false accolade for something I knew was rubbish, and it was rubbish. What I'd done was
Right.
absolute
Yeah, yeah.
dog turd, yeah. So I joined the music course, which was a gigantic gamble, absolutely gigantic gamble. So I did that, and I've never said that
So
on
by then,
camera. Yeah.
oh really? Wow. So presumably, obviously, by that point, you were into music and stuff. You just that you had you picked up a guitar by then, or you literally hadn't done anything?
By
And
accident,
so what was that?
because a neighbour of mine had borrowed an acoustic guitar. His name was Jeremy Baker, and he was more into sports kind of stuff. And I used to pop round
Right, right.
house all the time. And then I saw this acoustic guitar. You gonna use that? I was like, "Oh, well, let me show you what I've learned." And he had it in his room for like about 6 months. I even remember what he played. I still remember the tune to this day. It was like eerie, you know what I mean? Maybe he was a genius and he just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Can I borrow it? And I borrowed it for a day. And I came back, and without showing off, I worked out chords and all this kind of stuff. I was like,
Okay.
"You've really picked this up here." He goes, "Can I borrow it for a week?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then the person that actually owned the acoustic guitar wanted it back. But
Right.
which time I my father bought me a brand new guitar. Or I borrowed the money somehow. I can't remember how now. I think he bought me a guitar, and
Mhm.
I was playing, but like again, it was an accident. Everything's been accidental. I am an
That's
accident.
crazy.
That's why. So I think you have to underline, I am an accident. It's accidental. Everything. Yeah.
No, but by the sounds of it, you got like a good bit of influence there because, like, like I'm a parent now, and it's like all I want is my kids to just be into something, whatever it is, just do something, don't do nothing, So by the sounds of it, him getting the guitar was the next step in your evolution, right?
Yeah.
And so by then, one of the things that the answers you put to your question was who was the first band or act you watched live, and the answer you put was Love Hate.
Yeah.
And that's a band that I was into sort of probably around the same time, with Wasted in America and Tumbleweed and all that sort of stuff. It was around that Guns N' Roses
We may have
era.
gone to the
So
same.
where did you see them?
I
Yeah, where did you see those live?
It was the what, the Warwick, was it? Or the something, or the Apollo, or it was something in Wolverhampton, I think it
Oh,
was. It was
right.
No, actually, it was in Worcester. They played a gig at Worcester. I think it was Worcester,
Okay.
and the venue they played at was knocked down about 3 or 4 years later, or 5
Right.
years. 'Cause I remember telling younger me, I remember having a conversation with someone about this, and, "Oh, they played there, and that venue isn't there anymore," wherever it was.
Yes.
Can't remember what it was called,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I saw Love Hate play, and I also remember this I have a very good memory of the Scared Support Act, which was someone they managed to drag on stage with an acoustic guitar, and, they were playing, like, "Here's a little song, here's a little song, little children, here's," it was like, looking back now, it was like, I feel sorry for the person, the crowd, like, "What is this? We want Love Hate! Get off there!" And it's like, "No, I'm just here playing my little song, little song." Yeah, and it's some sweet old man. Well, it wasn't. It seemed like ancient to us because we were like our teens, whereas he was probably just like mid-20s or something. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like,
So
"Get
by
off,
then, so
off the stage!"
yeah. Well, listen, I mean, Love Hate were like, they were pretty big back in the day. I mean, they didn't get to Guns N' Roses levels and stuff like that, but they were a bit band on, part of that scene loosely, weren't they? So by then, I guess.
Do you remember a news report? Because I remember this when it happened. Was I was watching the television, and the singer of that band had himself tied to the Hollywood sign, the H, and
You're right.
he was actually tied to it, and there was he's one of the only people that managed to get on the Hollywood sign, and he was doing like the Jesus Christ pose, basically. On
Right.
I remember they had,
A publicity stunt.
yeah, it was, well, it was gigantic PR because I was like late teens in the UK watching this on television, and it's on the news, and I was like, "Oh, that's that band I've seen." Yeah. No, actually, tell a lot. I think I'd seen them. Um, I saw them live the week after I saw them on the news, because I remember,
No way.
because he actually
Yes.
he was on the stage, and he goes, "Hey, I don't know if you know about this, but I was on the Hollywood sign." And I think most of the people there were like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever. That sounds like the kind of mental thing you'd say." Yeah, and I was like, "No, he really did." I was like, I remember telling,
They were American, weren't they? They were American band.
yeah, I believe they were
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sort of Californian. So,
Yeah, yeah. That there was, what was it? Because I remember they had like Blackout in the Red Room. Was that the album? I can't remember. It was, but I remember that Blackout in the Red Room, and then like Wasted in America was a couple of years later. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, no, they were a great band. They were part of that whole scene, and funnily enough, I mean, I remember like getting into guitar music quite, around the same time, and it was all Guns N' Roses, and then my mate Phil knew a little bit more about like the underground stuff because he was a few years older than me, and then one of the influences that you put down was like Nirvana and Soundgarden.
yeah.
And I remember like, well, Nirvana just sort of came from nowhere, and they in many respects they they really they were the anti to like Guns N' Roses, if that makes sense. Like Guns N' Roses, although they had like brilliant songs, they were just like stadium rock, and then you've got these three guys who were just, like if you, to the untrained ear, they were making a noise, but like at the time, you just like it just sounded awesome, and I guess like now. You kind of understand how much of a big influence and that whole grunge scene,
Oh,
and it's crazy how, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that like a scene which was really underground in a not fashionable city in America suddenly took over the world, didn't it? It's crazy looking back.
It was down to one thing. I mean, I know I've kind of half watched it recently. There was a BBC documentary called Nirvana in the UK, and it's about them coming to the UK. And I watched it, and from what I gathered, not many people actually saw them in the UK, but they probably did it as a PR thing. Because we got to get
Mm.
know about this band. But the thing that actually broke Nirvana was the music video.
Yeah.
I remember watching the music video on MTV, and up until that point, you had lots of yeah, Guns N' Roses, and there's a few bands like that, and yeah, a lot of the the last bit of slop from the rock scene. So you had Poison, who were probably so intoxicated with, you know, whatever they were snorting at the time. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do another album for the kids.
Yeah.
Be clean, yeah, and that culture was slowly destroying itself anyway because it was doomed from the start, you know. And then the Smells Like Teen Spirit video came out on MTV. I remember watching it. I was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this." And I don't know. Thinking back, I think I was watching MTV and I was watching this music video, and they played it like at least 10 times a day of the time I watched it, and they probably played it for another 100 times for the rest of
Yeah.
the week. And it was like being played continuously because people wanted to see it. It was like nothing.
It's a brilliant song, yeah.
I'm like,
The brilliant song, brilliant video.
but that's the thing. But now that we've got brilliant video, brilliant song, and that kind of taught me a lot of about first impressions. When people see something huge, they go right,
Mm.
and then what they usually do is, what else have they done? Because you become a curious child.
Yes.
Although I was a bit older than that, but like you just get curious and you go, right, they had an album before. Oh wow, I'll check out that, and you start collecting things. And same with Soundgarden.
Mm.
And the only reason why I probably got into Soundgarden and a little bit of Pearl Jam. I wasn't a huge Pearl Jam fan, but Alice in Chains was probably more popular to me. But they were the sort of they were marketed as the football teams. Like, you know, you've got your different colours. You've got like Soundgarden, yeah. You've got like Alice in Chains, and like they all like each other, even if they probably never met.
Mm.
But the TV.
Yeah.
The TV was telling you, yeah, these are the four, or the three, or whatever they were, you know, trying to promote at the time. And there were probably hundreds of bands going, "We're better, you know, we got better tunes." Like for example, Smashing Pumpkins, I got into,
Mm.
but like there was clearly a push for a certain 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In their mind, that's the big 3 or 4 we can deal with.
Yeah. That's how they labeled it, wasn't it? That's how they marketed it as grunge and Seattle, and it was these bands that like these are the kind of poster childs, really.
Because it was a huge risk as well, because
Mm.
they had to either alienate everything they'd done up to that point, and Guns N' Roses were still big because they were playing huge,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
in like huge Wembley-sized stadiums. So they,
Well, I saw Soundgarden supporting Guns N' Roses in 1992
wow.
at Wembley.
See,
Yeah, yeah.
there you go. So they had to I mean, Guns N' Roses weren't exactly glam, but they were
No.
part of that kind of glam
Yeah.
culture. So when
Yeah,
Nirvana
yeah.
came in, Nirvana were like the ones that destroyed that culture in like about a week. It's like
Yeah.
put
Yeah, yeah.
poison.
It was
Just like,
because they
God, guys, put the drugs down. Okay, we gotta start doing grunge. What the? What? What?
yeah, but
Poison?
that was the thing. That was the thing, wasn't it? Because like Guns N' Roses were like, you know, it was Slash in front of a little church with a helicopter flying over while he's playing a lead guitar piece, and it almost ate itself. Even though, like, I mean, I love Guns N' Roses, like they're one of my favorite bands, but at that time, it's kind of like they went from being underground to like mainstream, and then just as quick as that happened, these other guys from Seattle who just just were making a noise, suddenly kind of like that became cool, and what they were doing
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's really, that's not cool anymore, or that's not what people want to see anymore.
It was like
It's
the
mad.
avant-garde. I'll tell you what it is, the man
Yeah.
sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So you'd see these music
Mm.
videos of Guns even Guns N' Roses probably fell into that trap because you'd have montages of all the women that Slash had slept with, in the video
Yeah.
of and that wasn't cool anymore. And it's like, a lot of women, like, were going, "You know what? We don't like being, portrayed like this." So eventually
Yeah.
a lot of, female artists came out of the grunge circuit as well. And that was more, interesting because, like, the consumer was, like, going, "You know, this whole, Motley Crue and Poison and degrading songs." It was like I know, like, the Spinal Tap kind of film,
Yeah.
stopped that, but they were the champions of it because, like, they were the ones that succeeded in the Spinal Tap world, and, they'd, magnified all the stereotypes to such a point that they became a complete joke. So they all had to
Yeah.
rebrand and go, Yeah, look, guys, we're gonna start doing grunge now." And Motley Crue go,
Yeah.
"Oh, what's a grunge?" Yeah, it's like, "Is that kind of girl? Have I gotta sleep with
It's
it?"
but it's weird though. It's reading it because suddenly like Nirvana became more relatable, because
Yeah,
that's ultimately what makes it's, of course, about you've got to have good music, but it's got to be relatable. You know,
like Disney said,
when bands get,
that's what
yeah,
came.
yeah, it's got to be relatable. I mean, suddenly, that Smells Like Teen Spirit video where, everyone's just looking round and it's a load of like teenagers, like in a school environment, everyone's fed up of school and all that sort of, and it just struck a chord, didn't it? It just struck a chord, and it's just amazing. It feels like it was overnight, wasn't it, that it suddenly became right, that's it, not that, that's it.
Well,
I don't remember there being such a sea change,
uh,
in my lifetime.
I think the reality was as we were younger, not that young because obviously we're very young people now, but when we were exposed to all that, what we probably didn't
Yeah, yeah.
realise is we were I'm not saying we were being fed a lie, but the music scene had to change overnight because that groundbreaking music video happened by Nirvana, and then suddenly they go, "Right, we've got to change." And the music industry did, and suddenly all music videos had these incredible cinematographers. So there was loads of like more emphasis on art, and there was an explosion.
Yes.
So when you
Yeah.
see a music video, it wasn't like Poison going, "What the cat dragon?" It's like, no, no, you can't do that anymore unless
Yeah.
you make the music video more about the cats and less about you.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
whole art thing was very important. And, it was like I'm not I say comparing it to the '70s. It was like a '70s at the time, we all thought it was like a '70s part 2. We'd heard all the stories of Jimi Hendrix and stuff, and, the '80s was electronic, and this was our time. So we were like, "Oh," and some people thought we're getting the '70s back, so Pearl Jam were billed as like the next Led Zeppelin, which they were.
Mm. No.
To
No, no.
us, well, we didn't have a Led Zeppelin. This is our
Yes. Yeah.
Nirvana
Yeah.
were our
Yeah. Yeah.
Beatles. So,
Yeah.
we were sold that, by
Yeah.
great marketing people that thought they must have gone, "Right, we gotta think, yeah, art." And whereas we were thinking of these great bands, there were probably these huge executives like, "Yeah, okay, right, we need to sort out what the kids want. Yeah, yeah, we'll throw out the leather. No leather, no studs. We want woolly jumpers. We want
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
gonna wear the woolly jumpers. You hear me?" It's like, and there's probably some of the EMI records. Yeah, and lose the colours in the hair. No, no, that's quite popular. Why don't we trim it? Okay, we're gonna trim the hair, but not too much. Skinheads. No, we don't like skinheads. What about a mullet? Yeah, mullets are cool again. So they changed the style, the fashion, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
really, it was like a huge mess that worked as long as it was called grunge. because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
something could be
yeah.
grunge. Motley Crue, years later, became grunge, and they were slagged off and criticised for it, but their record label thought, "Yeah, that's what sells."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, put away the cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's right. I mean, you look at like a few years later, and we're going into kind of like the early kind of Britpop, and there was bands like Blur
Yeah,
who were like assigned to a major label, and they kind of like they were specifically told, and this is after the grunge scene, they were specifically told that you need to make a song that sounds like the Stone Roses,
yeah,
because the Stone Roses were popular at the time, and I guess it's just a formula, isn't it? And you look at it from like entertainment, and like I in my working career, I've been involved in video games and 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 you see it even in any type of entertainment, something becomes popular, and then suddenly because there'll be three or four massive companies, and you'll get something that's popular, and then everyone's like, right, well, we need to make something like that. And it happens in music, and I think when you like when we were growing up, you don't kind of see those, you don't see the matrix, so to speak, but it actually happens a lot in a lot of entertainment, whether it's video games, movies,
the people put it
TV shows,
really because they're
and of course music.
all
Yeah,
advertising. Yeah.
so
The
so I guess
market
that's
research, and our market research says, um, "Shall we have a computer game with a very sexy lady on, with a snake on?" It's like, no, because we alienate 50% of our, well, maybe 25%. 25% of our people won't be interested in that. However, we could put a man on there. I go, yeah, but what if it was a man that looked more feminine? That's it. That's what we'll do. And you got these kind of cogs working behind the scenes. They work
yeah,
what's on the art. Yeah, who
yeah,
the art
yeah. No, it's
paid for. Like people have to pay people to do things. Yeah.
well. Look, so I just want to kind of move on to a couple of bits about the music industry, because one of the things that I quite like the answer to this question you gave, Nick, was if it was one thing that you could change in the music industry, what would it be? And you put the journalists,
Yeah. Well, the people whose job it is to report
the
on it.
gatekeepers.
That's a better word than what I said. Gatekeepers, because they have a playlist of who they're told has to be played, and the reason why they're given that is because they haven't got the time to do the research. So somebody does the research, and somebody decides who it is. That could be a sponsor, or but whatever it is, there is a dynasty of elitism in most forms of entertainment. I mean, let's say like you've got some young person that's trying to get into the theatre, right? And they'll like, "Oh, we're doing a play this Sunday for the children's hospital, and I get to play Cleopatra." Yeah, and it's like their biggest thing. It's like, yeah, you say Cleopatra, yeah, she was the leader of Egypt once. Yeah, it doesn't mean you are. I mean, you're at some little panto pretending that you're from Egypt. Yeah, but of course, an actor goes, "Yeah, I'm going to play the role of Cleopatra," and really, you're watching some really bad production. That looks like a 7-year-old was in charge. But like the reality is that person is selling their talent as best they can with what they have. And somebody has to review that and tell the world. And the reality is the big actors get the big roles and the big production. I think Cleopatra actually bombed when they made it with Elizabeth Taylor. But the thing is that there's people who decide who has to be on the front line.
Mm,
And there's
mm.
always the underground scene, which is called independent. And it became horribly named unsigned in the year 2005, as we've said before. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gatekeepers now kind of have buzzwords. An idea, it's a kind of quality control. So if you don't meet all the certain things, then you are a certain thing
Yeah.
labeled. So the gatekeepers have a list of tick, 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 tick. or cross, and any music that doesn't conform to those things is not part of the industry, in their opinion. But when you've done it for so long, and you have a back catalogue or a reputation, it then becomes harder for gatekeepers to justify their bias.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you know more about music than, say, I'm an 18-year-old journalist, and I know what's going on because I'm hip. You're like, yeah,
Yeah,
years ago, you were still probably playing with Lego. Yeah, so
yeah.
not sure if your knowledge is as strong as you say it is, but let's continue. So there is these gatekeepers, and they have everything from like BBC are being careful how I word this, an organisation which is radio made to look like community radio, but is technically a government speaking platform, and the music decides is quality controlled. And I love to say that I know a lot of people that work in the BBC who are wonderful people, but
Yeah.
they have to struggle to get the people they like on the show that they may run
Yeah, 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 yeah.
guidelines, almost like government guidelines. And because you don't get a BBC presenter just go, I'm going to play whatever I want. Yeah, because a kind of maverick like that will probably lose their job. If you go, oh, you played all these people, but haven't gone through all our process and a little ticks and stuff.
Yeah.
You're fired. Yeah, because that's the real world.
You feel a bit sorry for them actually, because
Yeah.
like, you know, like BBC introducing, as an example, is such a great platform, and it's got lots of, and of course, listen, there's always the, as you say, the filter and, you know, what's in vogue and all that nonsense you got to go through. But overall, it's a really great platform, and then it's kind of been defunded, like, to make it even harder now. So you've got bands that it's basically like, I don't know exactly. So you got, well, I know that it's like radio, BBC Stoke, BBC Hereford and Worcester, and there's another one, I can't remember what it is, but they've like had to amalgamate into one. So where you had BBC Hereford and Worcester, where artists have got a better chance to get their music played, there's obviously those tick boxes you've got to go through. Like now, there's even a larger pool and a bigger filter you've got to go through, which is a real shame, because actually,
Quality control again.
you know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, and it's unfortunate because like every band uses that. It's a really good. It's a good piece of content. It's something to build on, isn't it? You know, and I know that you
play certain artists because
yeah, of
someone
course.
that's been on the BBC recently, who's written a song called "On the BBC," which is actually totally mocked the BBC, and that's the reason why.
Well, yeah,
I had to think.
that's why I wanted to come on to that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that, I mean, like, by the way, again, going back to videos, that video, you're on a tube station at one stage. You've got a nice bikini in some little balloon pool in another. You're also like doing some sort of TV cooking show, but you know, it's. I mean, obviously that was a bit of a dig at you know, you not getting your art on those platforms, right?
Yeah, and I wrote a song which was so me, but yet not me, because when you listen to it, it sounds like here's that little turd that's slagging us off. You know, who does he think he is? And then you'll hear this like a well-written bass line, and
Yeah. It's got a great bass line.
it's just
There's some tap dancing as well in there. Was that actual tap dancing?
yeah. And I got somebody in the studio to tap dance because I thought
Wow,
I can't tap dance, but I know somebody that can. My friend Laura from the band
nice,
Naked Sunday, she's the bass player from that, and I got.
nice.
But the thing is, it's the first reaction. So when that came out, people thought, "Oh, he sold out," which is exactly what I wanted people to think.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people they saw that. A lot of people that knew me, they go, "Oh, Nick sold out," and they probably like got halfway through it and thought, "Oh, this is ridiculous. Look at him. He's in a ball pit playing with balls. He would never have done like it." And I think a lot of people took it so seriously that they actually thought
I'd say
my ego, what? Who does he think he is?
no. I didn't see that. I thought you were just really having fun with it.
Oh yeah, I was enjoying it. I was in a bath with pink balls playing the guitar solo
Yeah.
because it's the most. It's the most self-centered thing I could think of for somebody with an ego that would have anything they want. I mean, if I had asked myself, really, all the things I wanted, it would have been a completely different video. But I just centered it around a lot of the culture that was around me, and also I was saluting Saturday night entertainment. Because I used to grow up with a lot of Morecambe and Wise, all that kind of thing. And I wanted to give the BBC a reminder of what entertainment was, because they've kind of lost their way. So I kind of introduced, not how I introduced, but something most independent bands, or as they classify unsigned, would never in a million years do, to the point where they go, how did this turd achieve this? Why does it sound good? Because it sounds commercial. Why does the video look so expensive when they're just a bunch of woodwork kids from the Midlands? Why is this happening? So it made people ask questions. And when you picked it up, it's like it's a sarcastic look at the entertainment industry. But it got a lot of attention, so it got a lot of radio play. And the thing is, because of marketing, it looks good when you associate with the BBC, and they weren't playing me for about 5 years. So I thought,
Right.
what if every time I get played on the radio, and there's a radio playlist, it just says WEAK13 on the BBC. So it told loads of people that I was part of the BBC.
Yeah. And they ended up playing it, right?
Yeah, on BBC Six, and there was a lot. I tell you what, we've been talking for a good while, and I remember a radio interview with the BBC Birmingham, and whoever it was like live, something like 6 a.m. in the morning or something. I was live, and the guy that was, I feel sorry for him, but he started off on the wrong foot, and he said,
Right.
Nick, why did you think that you weren't good enough to play on the BBC? I said,
Because completely didn't get it.
Yeah, I said, well, number one, I didn't think that. That's something you've just made up on air. That's a lie. Because I was on this show calling him a liar. So straight away, because if I hear if I had said yes to that, it'd have been like, well, I'd be agreeing with something that I don't agree with. So what do you want, a guest, or do you want just like a puppet? You know what I mean? If I'm going to be in your show and talking about the song, at least let me answer the way I think, not like make up things I've never said. Obviously,
Completely just did not get it. Just didn't get it. Yeah.
Why would I spend all these resources on a song to promote that I'm not on a station? It's marketing.
Yeah. And do you know what? That's one thing. Going back to what we said earlier, I think that's one thing that you do really, really well, and credit to you. You know, you basically using everything you can to market your band, and congratulations and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Right, okay. We'll take another quick break. Good news, though. In the show notes, I'm going to put a playlist together with some of Nick's favourite tunes that have influenced him, and also some of WEAK13's songs, including the ones we've just sort of spoke about. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back after this.
I'm Rich.
I'm Charlotte.
And we're involved in
Get Your Kicks on the A456.
And you're listening to the Live Wire Music Podcast.
Welcome back. I'm with Nick from WEAK13, award-winning video producer. Nick, it's been a fantastic conversation. It's really good to catch up with you, and the amount of knowledge that you have and experience is to be congratulated.
Thank you.
And it's hard as an artist, even more so nowadays, and for you to sort of stick to your guns and maintain your originality. And you've continued just with WEAK13, and that's your thing, and it's original music, it's original art, and that is really to be commended. So you deserve all the accolades that are coming your way. So
well, I'm just on brand.
yeah, so
You know what I mean? It's like any company. Heinz beans,
yeah,
no Heinz beans. Though I must admit, whenever I hear someone goes beans means Heinz, I love to say beans means Heinz, or Heinz, Heinz. Well, it depends how you interpret it. So people interpret WEAK13 in different ways. People interpret Heinz beans in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. But I couldn't I couldn't do this interview without sort of asking this sort of question, because one of the reasons I'm doing this, the whole Livewire music podcast, we want to support independent acts. We want to sort of shine a light on businesses that are involved in music. But one of the other things, we want to be able to give sort of sound, practical advice, because there's a lot of ways of doing this wrong.
Anyway, I can help. We can talk about anything with other people.
Yeah, exactly. It would be foolish of me not to sort of ask this question, and I'm looking forward to your take on it. So, what advice would you give to someone who's about to embark on their music career?
Don't be too disappointed at first, because it seems like, okay, you got this mountain to climb, and what the thing is, reality is, people climb mountains, and a lot of people die trying to climb a mountain. Sometimes actually, if you're at the top of a hill, that also is quite an achievement. And people go, yeah, you and your hill. Yeah, but I've just climbed the mountain. Like, yeah, you're always going to get those people who go, I'm the top of the castle. I'm the king of the castle. Yeah, I'm on the mountain. Yeah, and you're just on the hill. Well, yeah, it's a hill, but this shows I'm on the right track. You know what I mean? Now I could start doing bigger hills, and without trying to be, word diarrhea. The music industry is a huge wall, and the way it's promoted, it's almost promoted that if you pick up a guitar or a piano or whatever you play, that the music industry doesn't want you. That's the first thing. And like, I remember how at art school, the art student with the great painting, with the imagination, wasn't accepted. It was given the D, and I was given the A minus for producing what I call tripe. So I realized when I left art school, because of that, that I thought, that's the art industry. And then the same is with the music industry. And because there's all the tick boxes and stuff, you could tick all the boxes and you might one day be kind of satisfied if you tick all the boxes. And I stopped ticking boxes. I'm not like an anarchist, everybody says, oh, you look like one. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm actually a decent chap, and I've got morals like most people have. But what I wanted to do is actually be true to the kind of things I wanted to do. And I mentioned art. I wanted to make something, and the thing is, a lot of my the things I do were inspired by the 90s. And anyone that's listening now has a reason why they got into music. And that's the kind of voices in your head. They were the Love Hates, or they were the Guns N' Roses you listen to. But you could do this. So why not see how far you can take it? Not everybody is cut out for this, because there is a bit of sacrifice, time, patience, and a lot of time with you, trying to convince yourself, am I doing the right thing? I'm not saying you don't listen to those voices, because some people take to music easier than others. Some people you got to push them like, come on, we're going to do this, yeah. And some people are very pessimistic. But you can say this about any industry. You're going to get actually want to do this. And there's a people that just do it naturally. Like, like I remember, I'll say this on here, a point where I suppose you could say I had my midlife crisis. Yeah. And I had the choice of quitting music altogether. And I had no money, none of it. I don't know, none of the things I have now. But I was at a point where, am I going to move forward with this? And I strategically went and bought a guitar, another guitar which I didn't need. But it was like I just that was the adult decision. Like, I can't afford to do a lot of things. I'm homeless for a bit, so I bought a guitar. I think, why? It's almost like the gods of Olympus are going, "The fool! We've just made you homeless. Have you learned? And you want to buy a guitar? What else? Send down the dragons! Fire!" Yeah. So you got to have that drive in yourself, and whoever you are listening, and you're very artistic, you're surrounded by people that are probably think likewise, and a lot of people who don't think likewise. 3 years time, only about 2% of those people will be in your life. And not this has been some apocalypse, because they will do other things that they're destined for. And then you're on your own almost, with a very small fragmented group of people in your life. And that's when you decide, right, I need to tell the world about what I'm doing. And you should have been doing that from day one, but obviously you have to learn from things.
Yeah.
Playing in the pub.
Yeah, of course.
You start making your demo tape, you start the journey, and then you kind of go, well, the things I used to listen to were professionally recorded, so I need to learn how to be really good in the studio. Because a lot of people go, Nick, you're a punk. I bet when you go in your studio, you go, that's a vocal warm-up. I've just spat on the wall. That's my vocal warm-up, yeah. Yeah, no, I had to go in the studio. I had to learn the ethics of working with an engineer whose job is to make you sound great. And you lot better when you take your own talent more seriously. And it's those voices in your head, everything telling you on the inside that it's an impulse that you want to do it. You'll get critics in every area of life, probably swaying you, saying you shouldn't do music, or it's not for you, or good luck, but nah. Yeah, and I mean, people are entitled to their opinions. You haven't got to agree with.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. I guess there's always that little bit of self-doubt in any artist, and even you don't necessarily have, you don't even have to be an artist. There's always, everyone, by human nature, we have a little bit of self-doubt, whether you're, whatever you do in life. But great, Nick, it's been great talking to you. So what can people look forward to next year? What are the plans for Week 13 in 2026?
In 2026, I say this to you, and I'm being as realistic as possible. I'm writing our third album, but that might not actually be even heard by a human being for another 2 years. You know what I mean? Because
right,
I've done a double album this year. To be honest, those songs the song a month plus more.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I will be promoting this album for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's a quick thing a lot of bands do, is that they'll do something, they go, oh, it's done now. To me, it's like, no, that's part of...
Move on to the next thing.
I am definitely moving on to the next thing, but I can't pretend the past hasn't existed. So if I'm proud of that past, I promote that. So I'll be promoting the songs from the second album, Aluminium, which has got the unpopular song, etc. Sorry, a song called Unpopular, just in case everybody forgot. But so I'm writing the third album, and I think I'm going to be making something which will make anyone that's liked WEAK13 before really happy. I'm making something which is very genuinely me, but at the same time musically different, because nobody wants to hear the same thing again and again.
Sure, of course.
It can't be so alien that it intimidates people. So it will be WEAK13 again. So it's a new album. I don't know when that will be finished, but I'm definitely writing it most next year. I'll be playing a few festivals in the summer, and that's just the continuation, being consistent, which is other advice I give to artists. If you're going to do something, try and be consistent because it shows people
Yeah.
care about what you do. So we will be making
Yeah.
more stupid music videos, more.
Good. I look forward to those.
Yeah.
I look forward to.
I mean, it was
Nick,
mysterious.
it's been an absolute. Yeah, of course. But Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
You know, when I started this podcast, I knew that you were one of the first guests I want to have on because, you know, for someone, like I said earlier, for someone that's been doing what you've been doing for so long and, you know, still doing it, you know, that takes a lot of determination, balls, confidence, and, you know, good luck to you, mate.
And
You know,
delusion.
genuinely. No, and mate, and genuinely, you know, congratulations on those music videos because, you know, the music's great and those videos really are like the icing on the cake, really. So congratulations and thank you very much for taking the time to being on the show. So I wish you all the luck and let's stay in touch, man.
Look, I've got to say, whether it's listen, whatever you do, it hasn't just got to be music. I mean, I started off as an artist.
Yeah, of course.
So you can do technically a U-turn, but when you think about the U-turn I did, wasn't exactly a U-turn. I just did a circle. I started off as this. I picked up a guitar, started becoming a musician, and I came back to art. Only I'm holding a guitar this time.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's true. That's very true. Congratulations to you because that really is, you are able to fulfill your dreams as an artist. You know, maybe it wasn't exactly how you've envisaged it when you were like at school or at college, but here you are. So, you know, congratulations, mate. And
Thank you very much.
it's great catching up with you, man. So hopefully I'll come and see you sort of in the new year and we'll get you involved in, maybe get you involved in the festival. Thanks ever so much, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, if I can help anyway, just let me know where.
Mate, I'll pass your deets on, you know, and yeah, it'd be great. They could do with someone with your expertise, knowledge, and you know, experience, no doubt about it. So
If they're sophisticated people, I would love to share a can of champagne with them.
Nick, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Can of champagne?
Yes, I'll have two, please, darling. Thanks ever so much, Nick.
Anytime.